to Story Sirens, the podcast where we discuss myths and legends from around the world. My name is Yenny.
And I'm Sarah.
And today is our first time talking about our new side thing that we're doing, which is called Siren.
It's a side piece.
It's called Siren Encounters. So we're very excited to talk about this. If you don't remember from our last episode, we had mentioned that if you have ever had any sort of paranormal encounter you'd like to share, you can go ahead and submit it to us via our Gmail, storysirens@gmail.com. And you might just come out in one of these episodes. And we finally got someone, so we're going to talk about it.
We got some, and so we want to talk about it, but we want to hear your stories, so get those submitted to us. And this is an ongoing series we will be doing at no consistent interval.
None.
So let's get to today's first story then. So this is our first ever Siren Encounter from listener Natalia. So thank you for submitting, Natalia.
Thank you.
All right. Natalia writes, before I went off to college, I was spending some days at my grandparents' home in Chihuahua, Mexico. They slept in separate beds, so there was a gap in between, maybe about 3 or 4 feet wide. I was sleeping with my grandma one night, facing the gap. I woke up in between sleep cycles, and I started to hear tiny whispers coming from the feet of my side of the bed. Not crazy about that. I don't know if they were gnomes, ghosts, or some sort of fairy or fae. It was pitch black, and I couldn't see anything at all.
That's worse.
Yeah, it is worse.
Yeah.
It is worse. Not being able to see anything.
And hearing giggles and little.
This is not ASMR. All right. I laid there very still. I even held my breath to see if I could catch the conversation, but nothing. Only tiny whispers from little people. 2, to be exact, going back and forth.
Do you imagine they're having like a full-blown like argument? It's like a couple, and they're talking about like,
right.
Oh, why did you go see Thumbelina? I told you.
Why'd you go see Thumbelina?
I told you I didn't like her.
And I thought that you were going to pick up a cashew for us on the way home for dinner. Come on.
And Natalia's just there like, Grandma?
Is this? Are we being haunted? No,
Grandma.
honey. It's just a couple spat. It's fine. All right. So the voices were going back and forth, and then they stopped. I didn't see them. I don't know if they saw me, but I heard the faintest of quick pitter-patter from tiny leather-wearing feet.
Okay, first of all,
so they have shoes.
Hold on. Natalia knows what leather-wearing feet sound.
Natalia knows a lot of things. Natalia knows a lot of things.
Like, that is such a fashionista thing, though. I will say.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because, wait, hold on. Because for sure, like, I know my mom's, like, chancletas, like the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that I know.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
I know if they're, like...
And, like, there's certain footfalls that you recognize.
Yeah. Like, there's some heels, but, like, to be like, oh, no, this is not just any type of heel. This is a leather-wearing
This is leather.
heel. You know what, Natalia? I want you to pick my shoes. I want you to pick my shoes. Mm-hmm.
Same. So, she heard the faintest quick pitter-patter from tiny leather-wearing feet. Back and forth once. The chatter picked back up again. And before a short time, I drifted back into sleep. I told no one of this encounter.
Okay. But, like, sometimes, like, your parents... I don't know about how your parents were. Like, my parents never would argue in front... I'm still thinking that they're a couple arguing. No. So...
Right.
My parents never argued in front of us. But my sister and I would know when they were fighting. Because they would go to their room and you would hear, like... kind of like Peanuts.
Yes.
So...
Very much like Peanuts.
So, wait a second. I feel this because, like... So at some point in time, like, my sister and I would just stop, like, trying to understand what they were saying, and we'd just kind of be like,
you're like, what is it?
And then fall asleep. So, you know.
What if these two are a couple who were arguing, and then they're going, you want the baby?
And then that's
Don't you know their granddaughter is visiting?
one of them is going like, I'm leaving. And the other one's like, you're not leaving.
Yes.
And you're like, no,
You're not leaving until we finish this.
Uh-huh.
I'm leaving right now. Don't you dare.
And then Natalia didn't tell anybody about this encounter. And honestly, that kind of feels like a child thing, because I know I'm a divorced child. My parents
it's like,
divorced.
Nope, I'm not spreading anybody's gossip, anybody's dirt.
But I do need
I'm just gonna keep my head
therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
my parents, my mom and my stepdad are still together. My stepdad is practically like my dad. But like,
I was gonna say, I love your stepdad. I love him.
My real dad,
Your biological
father.
one.
They did divorce, and so like I get it. I never told anyone about that encounter. I didn't start my sentences with my parents divorced. But maybe
that's not how you started everything.
Maybe I should have
go to school and say, my mom told my dad to take me to school and then not come home. Like, that's not how you opened up a sentence.
No,
yeah,
I didn't also mention how like my dad forgot about me and then I fell into a pool and almost died. Anywho, back to Natalia.
Is this Siren's Encounter just turning into therapy? Talk therapy? Except I can't help you process this. I can just go, wow, that does suck. Yeah. So I'm here for you.
Thank you.
Vent to me.
Thank you, therapist Sarah.
So anyway, if only there was a therapist to intervene for the two little people who were arguing in front of the baby.
Natalia.
So Natalia says, yes, Natalia says that she told no one of this encounter. A few years later, again, I'm reading Natalia's words, so I'm speaking as Natalia. A few years later, my grandma's health had been declining at a steady pace. She was bedbound and had senile dementia at the end of her life. I wasn't witness to her dying days, but my mom was. As she was caring for my grandmother at her bedside, my grandmother motioned to the gap between the two beds and said, "Honey, there are two children running around here sometimes. Where is their mother?" My mom gave an assuring reply that she would find out.
No.
It wasn't until a few months ago that I connected both stories. And my grandmother has long since passed, over a decade ago.
This is the trauma that came back.
It's the trauma! It's the trauma. So, I'm convinced my grandmother laid eyes on the tiny people I heard chatting at the foot of the bed. And she thought they were children playing about unsupervised.
Lord have mercy on my soul. Lord, have mercy.
I have so many questions. I now have a follow-up to any of our listeners.
Yeah.
Because, I can Google this, but if somebody has more close personal experience with this, does anybody know of tiny mythical creatures or legendary folklorish beings
it could be like
in
duendes.
The Chihuahua, Mexico region?
It could be duendes.
I was thinking about duendes, but I wasn't entirely sure if that could be it.
Or
if there was another option.
It could just be Thumbelina with her man, and then
Tom Thumb.
all of a sudden...
Tom Thumb.
Tom Thumb? What?
Have you never heard of Tom Thumb?
Who is that?
He's the male equivalent of Thumbelina.
Tom Thumb?
Thumbelina?
Yeah, but that's kind of cute,
It is cute.
Tom Thumb,
she
fell in love with a guy named Tom Thumb. That's some American thing. I don't know.
I don't.
So
I gotta Google and see what the origin of Tom Thumb.
How do you even like?
That is English, okay? That is English, which does make it worse.
Okay, hold on. So that's probably what the fight was about. Okay, Natalia, I figured this out. Thumbelina was like, let's go into this room. There's an older lady and a kid. They're obviously not going to be paying attention right now, and they're sitting on our cashews anyways. So let's wait for them to roll over, and then we pick up our stuff, and then we go. But since we're waiting, I'd like to let you know, Tom is great. Tom is good. But Thumb, I mean...
While I have you cornered...
Yeah.
Have you ever considered, what, that's what it was. She was telling him, I told you I didn't want to take on your name, Thumbelina Thumb. I think not. I said you needed to take on my maiden name.
Which is what,
goes,
Lena?
You don't even have one. And he goes, you don't even have one. She goes, exactly.
You know
we
what?
could just be Thumbelina and Tom.
And two thumbs don't make a thrite. Two thumbs. Don't make a thrice, Tom.
Don't make a right.
Yeah, no, a thrice.
A thright.
Because
My bad.
I don't know. What starts with TH and is like a direction?
Third? Three? I don't, Thorward?
Well, whatever the case is. Whatever the case is, Thumbelina and Tom were obviously, I'm not going to say his last name because I am in Thumbelina's side.
Thumbelina and Tom. Here, now, and forever.
So, maybe they were fighting. And then,
Probably.
But I think in reality, Natalia's grandma was the landlord of the house, and perhaps Thumbelina and Tom were like, hey, we heard about this place called Miami, and they do like efficiencies. Can we do an efficiency for us?
Yeah, can we do like an
We'll pay you in pine nuts.
Upgrades.
Pine nuts and coins. I mean, hey.
Pine nuts and pesos.
Pine nuts and, oh my God, that's right, because we're in Mexico.
We're in Mexico.
So there you go.
So see?
And maybe Natalia's grandma was like, this is it. And like, whoever tries to come to my house and mess with me, I'm just going to tell Thumbelina and Tom to mess with them. And boom, they left.
To mess with them. Tie their shoelaces together, stick something uncomfortable in the bed.
Now,
I'm best house guests ever.
I'm pretty sure too that at this point they saw that Natalia really did not tell anyone about this encounter, because maybe Natalia
were
moved.
like, you're a girl's girl.
Yeah.
You're a girl's
she
girl.
moved, and then Thumbelina was like,
she went back to Texas. I think, Natalia's in Texas.
Oh, well, there you go.
So see?
So she didn't even say anything. She waited now until Story Sirens to talk about this. Therefore, I mean, Thumbelina, would they be immortal? Listen, if I have to be married to a man named Tom Thumb immortally,
then I might give up my immortality.
Or at least at some point in the eon, you gotta be like, come on, baby, let's change the last name, okay? Like we'll both change
and I mean, I don't know if you grew up watching the, animated Thumbelina movie, the Don Bluth one, which I loved and everything. And I loved her love interest. But man, it bummed me out every time I was reminded that his name was Cornelius.
Yeah, they made weird names.
And I'm like, so many fairy tales have such good names. Like Swan Princess has Derek. And,
Ariete.
Sleeping Beauty has...
Ariete was like a super cute movie. And isn't that like Thumbelina coded?
Oh, yeah, that is kind of like
Mm-hmm.
See, so there's more of them. So it could be... That's what it is. That's what it is. It's not Thumbelina and Tom. It's some other tiny thumb-sized person arguing. Listen, I'm fine with your sister coming to visit us, but her husband, this Tom guy, I don't know about him. Like,
you can't have him.
Like that name is just embarrassing.
No, yeah. And then I don't know. He talks about little tiny Duende politics, and I don't want to deal with that.
Duende politics, and he has a weird American grocery store chain.
There you go.
He runs a grocery store chain. Yeah. Like he's not even one apple tall. He's 2 popcorn tall. How is he a CEO of a corporation? Like,
there you go.
And do we see any of that money?
None.
No. He's trying to flee to Mexico,
uh-huh.
where the currency exchange is more in his favor. No, this man is cheap.
Cheap, and that's it.
And then they realized they woke up the baby. They were at risk of waking up grandma and grandpa, and they were like, okay, let's finish this out on the patio.
Now, my only problem is with this story that we've made up about the married couple is that, well, we don't know if it's made up, so,
We don't know.
But.
We could be psychic.
But she does mention that there were 2 children running around here, and where's their mother? So, I could see the flaw in our assumptions as very, very smart and well brought up podcasters who just do all things mythology and history. But,
yes.
There is what is it? The clink in the chain, or what is it? What's that saying?
What are you talking about?
In the chain?
The weakest link?
No, there's like the thing in the chain that makes the chain break. It's like the clink in the chain or something like that.
Okay.
I know what I'm saying.
Something in the chain. I am sure you do. There's just something.
A chink? A clink?
like a kink in
Oh,
the
a
chain?
kink!
Like, cause
okay,
because
I
a
thought
kink is like
was
a
something
it's
else.
like
But I guess there's
No.
tools.
No, it's named after the kink in like a hose or a chain or something where it's basically
What is a kink?
off. A kink in like a hose or something is just like a bend where it can't function properly.
Oh, well, sometimes when you bend, it functions even better. So
That's why you got to be flexible, not rigid. Because when you're rigid, you snap.
you snap.
You got to be going with the flow
Anywho,
here.
Away from
This
sexual
is,
innuendos. Back
yeah,
to
'cause- And back to Duendes.
Duendes. Yeah, we're gonna say that maybe grandma at that point, she does mention that grandma was, having senile dementia. So maybe she thought it was 2 kids, but it was really like a married
And
couple.
also, I mean, even though this is not a pleasant thing at all, but a lot of caregivers do mention that for elderly people who do become senile or suffer from Alzheimer's, they become more childlike. And typically it's kids and people with more childlike open minds that have an easier time seeing the supernatural.
That is true because they're closer to the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
And, if she had other things going on in her mind, she might have been able to see it more easily.
probably. So like hearing stories of people who like work at hospitals and stuff, because I like to also go through I don't have TikTok, but I have Instagram, and I like to scroll through
Listen, Instagram reels are just as bad.
Yeah.
And then when somebody's like, sit with me as I tell you about my work day.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yes.
So I love those.
I'm
and
like, let me prep my lunch while you telling me about your corporate
I
job.
love all the nurses that are talking about crazy stories that they've had, and one of them that keeps coming back is that a lot of people, when they're near death, they see things in hospitals. They'll see people, they'll see their loved ones in the corner and stuff. All I gotta say is if I survive Alex, he better be coming to the foot of my bed
and waiting.
hot. He better be hot. He better not be old Alex.
No,
I love you.
We need
but I want
his
hot.
restored, new, youthful body to where you're just like, yes.
In boxers. Yeah. I would go right there.
You'd be like, unplug me. We're done. I'm good.
Going back to my hubby.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that's it.
You're like, my man is here.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Now, what would be creepy is if you also see terrible things, and that has also happened, and people have...
I've heard about that. I have heard about that.
They, drug them because they can't, they're like, oh my God, someone's staring at me, which is super, super scary. And I'm not going to say which family member of mine, but in my family, both on the Asian and the Cuban side,
it's on both sides.
have had paranormal encounters of sorts, sort of like this, like Natalia's, which is kind of they've heard things, or they feel like they see something, but then they're like, was it something in the light that made my trick of the eye or whatever, or the trick of the light, right? Not trick of the eye. Trick of the eye.
It can be both. Honestly, it can be both.
It could. So
the eyes and the brain desperately seek out patterns. We live off of pattern recognition. So it could be a trick of the light and then a trick of the eye.
Well, maybe if I start watching a lot of people who have money, then I guess the pattern would be that money just starts appearing, right? So
sure, let's go with that.
So a lot of them on, like I said, both sides, have gone to the hospital and they have seen things. One family member can't really step into the hospital because they say that they see dark figures everywhere. Another one that I have says that they'll go to the hospital, but they feel a constant pressure in their body. Yeah. So it's kind of creepy, but also really, really cool to see. I have never had that, and I don't want it.
No, I don't want it. I'm like, you know what? If that just means that my senses in that area are deadened, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. But because you said that you have that both on the Cuban and on the Asian side of the family. In my family, on the white side and the white side.
I love you.
on one side, there is a family member I have who does say that she can feel a lot of that energy and sense a lot, and I personally don't know how much of that I believe in personally,
which is fair.
But I also know that when she goes, she takes a moment to just calm herself down so that she can go do whatever it is. If that's going to visit a friend who's in the hospital or, go do a normal blood draw or something. And fair. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Do what you need to.
I have seen and witnessed some things, and that would be for another paranormal encounter that comes through our inbox. But
and we'd love to talk about those if other people send in their paranormal encounters.
Yes, but as for chatter picking up, I will say at the foot of the bed is such a distinct area that a lot of people who have paranormal encounters, it's when they're in that
That's where a lot of those stories.
Yeah. And we've talked about sleep paralysis, and we've talked about that REM, I think it was, that it's, rapid eye movement, and you're kind of awake, kind of asleep.
Yeah, those REM cycles and everything.
Yes.
Because my husband has had sleep paralysis
oh my God, you told
before.
Us.
Yeah, and he's like, that is the worst thing ever. I've never experienced that. And I'm like, you keep that.
Yeah, there was only one time that I experienced it, but I was drunk. So I don't know if it was I was sleepy or I was drunk. But
I'm glad you get sleep paralysis when you're drunk. I get sleep spins.
Oh,
yeah. Where I'm just like, I am the washing machine.
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened that day, but I just fell into a bed and I was like, everything is okay, I guess. And then I felt weird, and I was like, no.
It was a self-inflicted sleep.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening at that point, but again, the foot of the bed, all of this.
Yes, that's very common territory.
It could be. Now we have to play also two sides, right? We want to believe in the fairy tale, the mythological, the paranormal, but then let's think about it scientifically, and it could be that Natalia was having sleep paralysis or
that's true,
a REM cycle, and maybe she was thinking about a time with her friends because she was younger here. Maybe those two friends were laughing and playing, and she was having that dream. But because she was in bed, maybe she woke up mid-sleep and she was still having the dream, but now in
right,
this
projected, but it's not that full wakefulness.
Right.
And we will never
but
know.
We'll never
but
know.
It is, it's very interesting to think about that. Especially the fact of, again, it's why we do this podcast, and it's why we want to hear from the audience, because along with the fairy tale and fantastical side of things and the more rational and scientific side of things, then there's also the lens of how you as an individual interpret these things culturally, based off of the family you were raised in, based off of if you have a religious mindset or anything, and kind of what you believe to be true and real. And it's amazing how our brains try to quickly rationalize things to make sense of it. And then sometimes our brains just going, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I have no explanation for that.
And then they cover it up because the brain is strange like that, right?
Right.
Well, imagine she even said it. It wasn't until a few months ago that Natalia connected the story.
Put those together. Yeah.
So, and that happens.
So sometimes it takes your brain a while. And it's the brain's cool. The brain is its own mythical beast.
Sometimes I'm at the supermarket and I'm just looking for a cranberry juice because I love me some cranberry juice. And all of a sudden I remember something from middle school, high school. And I'm like, why do I remember that right now?
It's why is this what I remember when I spent 30 minutes searching for my keys this morning?
Yeah.
Why?
And it's cool. And we'd like to say thank you, Natalia.
Thank you, Natalia, for sharing this with us.
It was so great to have you as our first Siren Encounter. But
our first Siren Encounter!
Yes, but not our last.
No,
listen.
We are planning for more of these, and we want you to send more.
Listen, you listener. Listen very close. If you've ever had an encounter with mythical creatures or anything paranormal, we want to hear about it. And we want to be able to share it with the rest of our listeners. So go ahead.
Let's share the spookiness.
Yes.
Or the magicalness.
Or, we could go more magical, not as spooky. Not as spooky.
It can be.
We remember we're
share
chickens.
with us the fantastical. We are chickens.
We are chickens. So email us about your encounter at storysirens@gmail.com with the subject title Siren Encounters. That way we know who you are.
That way we know exactly what's going on, and it doesn't go automatically into spam.
Yes.
So,
Also,
yes.
you don't have to say your name. You can stay anonymous.
You can be anonymous.
Yeah, or you could just say your first name. You could say your dad's name. You could say your brother's name. You could say
You
your
can
mom's
come up
name.
with a name.
Or you can come up with a
If
name.
you want us to call you Zucchini Zebra, we can call you Zucchini Zebra.
Zebra.
It is fine, but please clarify if you would like us to keep you anonymous or use the fantastical name that you provide us in your email.
Yeah. And, of course, every time you send us something, hey, your story might be the one we read and chat about next. So there's that. There's that.
Get excited.
Yes.
Get excited.
And as for your siren call, it's literally that. Send us emails. God.
Send us a story.
Send us a story. I'm sure everybody
We are greedy
has.
for stories.
Mm-hmm.
We are greedy.
And
I have no shame about that.
We're not shameful for what we are, which is 4 brain cells worth of 30-year-olds, caffeinated, maybe some wine, married women.
Maybe a little wine. Married women.
Who do not live next to each other but should.
We should. Especially then so that I could harass Yinny about Hades Town, which is playing in movie theaters right now. Which is what I'm going to go see next.
Well, enjoy.
I'm going to go see it tonight, and I'm so excited.
Oh, that's why she's kicking me out. All right, guys. Love you guys lots, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Story Sirens. You can follow us on Instagram at Story Sirens Podcast. Want to support us? Send us a cup of Ko-fi by searching ko-fi.com/storysirens. We've got lots of treats for those who become siren seekers. All research materials can be found in the episode summary. Music by Donald Guzzi and artwork by Alexis Torres. Story Sirens is a Feather and Fin production. See you soon.